Hello. Hello, Rochelle White. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? I hope you got home well. If you are like me, I know the week would have been very, very tiring for you. I've been trying to recover all week. So good to have you here. Hello, good evening. Happy Easter, everyone. This is Ufuoma Anighoro. I decided to come on live to share my experience of being in Ukraine and also lessons from the History Makers training. Yeah, just waiting for a while for more people to join us. Thank you for joining, Rochelle. How are you doing? How's your day? I'm wondering what time it is in New Zealand now, Rochelle. I'm wondering what time. Welcome, Gift. Thank you for joining. Good evening and happy Easter. Thank you for joining. As you all know, I was in Ukraine for the 23rd anniversary of the Embassy of God Church and also for the History Makers training. It was a wonderful experience being in Ukraine, I must tell you. Hello, Patty. Oh, long time. How are you? Rochelle, 8 in the morning. Wow. Truly, we are on the opposite side of the pole. That's great. Hello, Patty. How are you? I know you were away for a while. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Yeah. Hello, Ezinwa. Hello, Ngozi. Thank you for joining. Good evening and happy Easter. Yeah, so nice to see you all. Yeah. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you, sir, for joining. Sir Olukayode, thank you for joining me this evening. Yeah, hello. I see you, sir. So good to have you with me this evening. Yeah, as you all know, I was in Ukraine and I attended the 23rd anniversary of the Embassy of God Church. You know, it's one thing to know Pastor Sunday online. We see him online. We were part of his live broadcast and following him. And to meet somebody that, you know, have such an impact in your life in such a short period of time, you know, it's just amazing. And if there was one desire I had, it was to see him live. Yeah, I had a beautiful time in Ukraine. I must tell you, a beautiful time, but very intense also because it was all activity. You know, I really wanted to see Pastor Sunday because hardly in life do you meet people, you know, I don't know, there are so few people that you meet that will impact your life, you know, so powerfully in such a short space of time. Hello, honey. Thank you for joining. And I really desire to be there in Ukraine and also to see Dr. Sunday Adelaja live. And I was glad, you know, for the opportunity to go there recently on the 23rd anniversary. Hello, Sisinkiru. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So Pastor kept announcing and said he kept saying the 23rd anniversary starting on the 29th, and we could come for the anniversary and also attend the HMT. And as most of you would have known, I traveled on the 29th, which was also my birthday. I didn't actually want to travel on that day because I know there is this thing, I don't know if I'll call it superstition or tradition. You don't want to travel on your birthday. So I actually was planning to leave on the 1st of April. But pastor was, he kept going on and on everybody trying to come in on the 29th because the anniversary is on the 30th. So, and speaking with my husband, I like, why don't I just go on the 29th? After all, it's not like I'm planning a party for my birthday or anything. I just decided, okay, I think I'll just go. And also thinking of the fact that I know I'm quite busy here. Hello, Olayinka. Thank you for joining. I just decided that I think it would be a good idea for me to go early and have a rest before the HMT. And also because of the report we've heard that HMT training can be very intense. And so I decided to go on the 29th. And oh boy, yeah, I got to yeah, look at you. I know you were really wanting to be. I know you really wanted to be there. It's such a shame that they didn't give you the visa, Oh, until the training was over. Oh, that's really sad. Hello, Sis Deborah. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I arrived Ukraine on my birthday, which was on the 29th. And I was picked up at the airport by Igor, and also with Pastor Rory, who was also just arriving, and together we were taken to Pastor's house. Hello, MJ. Thank you for joining. And we got to Pastor's house. I was excited to see all of the people who have been watching on Facebook. I was excited to see Maiwa. I was also excited to see Julie and Rochelle White, who came all the way from New Zealand. So I met DSA family members, some of them that were already in the house, but I didn't see Pastor Sunday. And I was told that he's been out since morning and he's not back home, and they didn't know when he was meant to be back. Yeah, I was happy to see the rest of the family, so I had a bit of rest. But when you go to a house, a new house, especially for the first time, you are not so relaxed until you have met the host. So for me, it was important that I met Pastor Sunday, and I was like, I won't be able to go to bed, without actually seeing him. So I kept asking everyone in the house, is Pastor going to come? Are you sure I'm still going to be able to see Pastor today? I was asking Igor, I was asking Pastor Natalia, and they were not quite sure if I was going to be able to see him. But I was really wishing that I saw him, because for me, it's just normal for you to want to meet the owner of the house that you're visiting for the first time. And so after a long time, we were told that Pastor was coming back, and that was already around 10 p.m. But even at that, I wasn't sure if I was going to see him, because because it's so late, and I also heard that he's been out all day, I wouldn't have been surprised if Pastor didn't want to see anybody, because I'm a human being. If you have spent so much time out, the last thing you want to do is to meet some visitors, because I just felt probably he would say that he won't be able to see anyone, and probably will see him in the morning. But we were told to go to the VIP, which is the popular room that you always see everybody gathered in. So we went in there and we were waiting. And if you watch the vlog that Bayowa did, of course, Pastor came in, and to my surprise, it was full of energy and happy to see everyone, and happy birthday song for me, which I wasn't expecting, because that was not the reason I was there. And it was quite exciting to see Pastor do that. You don't get that kind of reception from anybody, especially from somebody of his status. That was quite a shock, quite a pleasant surprise for me, and I was really blown away to have that kind of reception. It was quite huge. I wasn't expecting that at all, but I was so happy to see Pastor for the first time live. He was no longer the face that I was seeing on the internet, but this is real. This is Pastor Sunday Adelaja, and it was such a pleasant experience. And if you joined us live on that day, we had a long family talk, talking and praying, and I'll treasure that memory for the rest of my life. I really, I don't know anybody that, apart from my husband, I don't think of anybody that would do that. That would do that for me, and I was really quite, pleased, And being in Ukraine, going to the church service the next day, and meeting, members of the church and the way they treat us. I was feeling like a princess, I must tell you. Let me say queen. I was feeling like a queen. The church members, they were also attentive to you. They help you carry your bag. They give you a hand when you're climbing steps. You just really feel like a lady, well treated, and spending the time with pastor and being with him in his office, sitting among Pastor Derry, Pastor Rory, and every other member of the family that was there, and just being with him in that office was just such a wonderful time. And if you were following online, I'm sure you heard a lot of the live discussions that came up, at those times that we were in the office. And Pastor Rory he said something that made me realize that we were really privileged to be sitting down with Pastor in that office. That ordinarily, in this kind of meeting, 23rd anniversary, you expect dignified guests, other big pastors and big men of God, to be around. But look at us, we're sitting down here and I was feeling very important, even though I'm like, who am I? Who am I to be sitting down in this office with Pastor Sunday Adelaja? Like, we're talking about Pastor Sunday Adelaja. This is, we know that he's a great man of God, that God has used so mightily in Ukraine. And to be sitting in his office, I felt like, wow, this is such a huge privilege, and I really thank God for giving us that opportunity to be there with him and, learning from him. Pastor Sunday is a man that is full of so much wisdom. And I tell you, every minute that you spend with Pastor Sunday is not lost. There is always something to learn. There's always something you are learning. And I don't know how God will just, deposit so much in one man. I really find it very, very, it was very amazing, because every time you ask Pastor Sunday question or anything, he could just be talking about anything, and he goes into these long details of, of his thoughts, and you are really blown away at the truths that come out from every little thing that, we have to talk about. So yes, I really had a great time of spending those days with him, being in his presence, learning, even the services in church, the freedom, the liberty that you have. I've never had that kind of liberty in a church setting before. There is this air of freedom. Everybody's just the same. There are no sacred areas. There's no like, oh, this is a special place for these people and this is a special place for that people. Of course, we had a special place to sit because we needed interpretation with the earphones. But apart from that, there was this air of liberty. There was this air of freedom in the church. Everybody was just lovely and beautiful, and no protocol, no, I've never seen that in any church before. These church services were really very impactful. The topic for the Embassy of God, the 23rd anniversary, was the resurrection. That Jesus is the resurrection and the life, and all of the messages that came out, especially the ones that Pastor took, they just blow you away. Pastor took a message that said, "Send them away," and it was like, wow, is he going to send everybody away today? But by the time he finished, the revelation that came with that message, making us know that God, Jesus in his ministry wasn't dealing with crowd, but he was always looking for people that would, really be hungry for his word and really want to work with him. It was such an awesome time. So yeah, we had pleasant moments, plenty to eat, lovely time, meeting the rest of the family. Of course, more people were coming in. It was just such I was like, wow, I was so excited. The feeling you get when you're meeting people of the same blood, the same feeling that I got meeting everybody that has been on this platform. The names, but having to put a face to the name was just such a wonderful experience. So it was like a time of reunion, welcoming everybody, meeting Sister Anastasia, meeting Jeff Uzoma, just meeting each and everyone. I know a lot of people, couldn't make it, but for everyone that came, that have seen their name on the platform, it was just such a joy, to meet everyone. So yeah, And I wanted to share, my lesson, the things like eye-opening truths that I learned from being in Ukraine. I'm hoping that I won't take too much time, but after the anniversary, we had the privilege to start the HMT and to go out to see some of the work that the people in Ukraine were doing. So we went to the rehabilitation centers, we went to the fatherhood center, and we also went to an orphanage, visiting those three centers and hearing from these people the work they are doing, the systems they have in place, how they were able to, locate their vision and, and begin to pursue it. It was just such an inspiring time. I felt really challenged, and for me, it changes everything about my Christian walk, because we have just been so complacent. We just sit down in church. We're just thinking that, oh, we are born again, so we go to church, we attend church, we do all of the activity in church, and we just feel that that is all there is to being a Christian. But meeting these people, was really so inspiring and challenging at the same time. And one truth that I learned that I want to share with us today is that we are all born with a purpose. It's so very clear, because everybody, it's like everybody in the church that we saw, almost everybody, those that at least a lot of them throughout the anniversary, you see them coming up to tell you the things that they are doing. It's clear to me that we are all born with a purpose, and that there is a call of God upon our life. Every one of us, we carry the call of God on our life. It doesn't matter if you know it or you don't know it, but if you don't know it, then the onus is on you to discover it and fulfill it. Every one of us, it doesn't matter how small you think, that whatever it is, maybe that gift or talent, it doesn't matter how small you feel in your eyes that gift or talent is, but we all have the call of God in our lives. And it is so important that we discover it and fulfill it. And the truth is that I didn't even realize this, not until I met Pastor Sunday Adelaja. There were things that, God was showing me. I was feeling and I was dreaming of, and sometimes I wake up confused. I didn't even know that it was all a pointer to the purpose and the call of God on my life, until I met Pastor Sunday Adelaja. And I wonder how long I would have carried this, without even knowing. And, like I always say, that I would be the saddest person on earth if I had discovered that I had a purpose when I was 70 or 80. When do I start? When do I start doing what God created me for? We are all created for a purpose. Nobody is born a mistake. Nobody is born as a chance happening. Before you were born, he said, before he formed you in your womb, he knew you and he ordained you as a prophet to the nation. Before we were born, God knew us. So if maybe you have not realized it, but every one of us has a call upon us. Every one of us is born for a purpose. There is a reason why you are here. There is a reason why you are here. And if you are still confused about your purpose, about the greatest question that we could ask ourselves is, who am I and why am I here? If you are still confused about your purpose, then I would really encourage you to take time to discover it. Because if you discover it too late, you might not have time to pursue that which God has created you for. So if you don't know your purpose, I encourage you to get the book by Pastor Sunday Adelaja. I say, who am I? Why am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? It's a shame that a lot of us have. It's never too late. Yes, Sister Deborah, it's never too late. Your starting point is your beginning. And thank God that He's the Redeemer of time. It's a shame, for me to realize that I've spent a lot, well over 30 years being in church, not realizing that God was waiting for me because He has a purpose and He had a calling on my life. I'm so grateful. And yes, Sister Deborah, what you said is never too late. I'm so grateful because I just told myself that it's not too late. I have to start, and I have to start now. So for if you're still there and you still don't know why you're here, please take our time to really discover your purpose. Why are you here? You are not just here, as to fill space, to occupy space. You are not just here to, go to work and marry and have children. Everybody that I saw in that church, they were engaged in one activity or another, not as try and error housekeeping, but they were actually working in their purpose. They are working in their purpose. So, that was everybody, and you could see the joy and the fulfillment that these people, are showing in what they are doing. It just shows you that they have found their purpose. So that is one truth I want to be able to pass across today. We are born with a purpose. There is a call of God on your life. Discover it and fulfill it, please. It's so important, because when we leave this earth, that is what He's going to ask us for. You're going to give account, because it's a gift that He's not expecting you to bring it back to Him. He wants you to use it here for His glory. He wants you to use that purpose, that calling that He has upon your life is for His glory, and you need to discover it. You need to be able to express it here on earth. The other truth that I learned, from meeting all of these people and seeing the work that they're doing, is that God is faithful in your pursuit of purpose. He will always show up for you and provide what you need when you step out. I have experienced it, and I saw it in the testimonies of these people that we met. God is faithful in your pursuit of purpose, and He will always show up for you and provide what you need when you step out. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God is faithful. I met this lady that was running the orphanage. I will use her story. She started the orphanage when she was 20. It wasn't really an orphanage. She discovered that she had this passion to pick children from the street. So she will take them from the street. She will dress them up in her house. She and some of her 4 friends. And they were doing this. Imagine, they were bringing these children to their homes. They didn't have anywhere, but they didn't bother. They were just, committed to doing that which God has put in their heart to do. And you won't believe it. Just keeping committed to their purpose. They said a businessman from the church gave them 2 buildings. They gave them one in the city and another one by the seaside. I'm telling you, I can maybe I'll post a picture of this building. It's a house, a big, beautiful house that was given to them. And the vision that they had continued, because they started bringing children and actually putting them in this house. As at the time we met her, she was married, she has her children. But because she stayed true to her people, God was faithful. God gave them that house, and during the summer months, they are able to take these children also to the seaside to give them a good time. Isn't that faithfulness? Isn't that the faithfulness of God? So God is faithful in your pursuit of purpose. He will always show up for you. He will provide what you need when you step out. I also want to use myself when I wanted to start my girls club, which is the Marvelous Girls Club. I didn't have anywhere to start. I started from my house. I wasn't sure what the next step would be, but there was this urgency to just do what I know that God has placed in my heart. And I started from my house, and it was becoming obvious that I wouldn't be able to continue in the house. And I remember in December, I wanted to have an open day. It was so difficult to find a venue because it was December. But yeah, luckily I was able to get one. But after that, I said, Father God, I just asked God, I said, God, if you're giving me this vision, I need a place that will be a regular venue where I can meet with these girls. And I just wrote a letter to, my community, the people in charge of my community, and I got a room. Is that not the faithfulness of God? I didn't even expect that it will happen so quick. But they gave me, the community center, they gave me the keys to it, and they said, yes, it's open for you to use, for, all through the year for as long as you want it. Before I started, I didn't even know that will happen. But it just shows you that when you step out, every time, every need that comes your way, as you step out in faith, God will meet those needs. I saw it in the life of these people. God is faithful in your pursuit of purpose, and He will always show up for you and provide for you what you need when you step out. So don't be afraid. I know sometimes a lot of things hold us back. For me, there was this urgency because I already felt that I've wasted so much time. But when I sat down to think, other things were like, oh, will I be able to do this? Oh, I have my children. I have the son with special need. Oh, maybe I will see myself back in hospital. Oh, maybe will I be able to sponsor this? There were a lot of excuses could have hindered me. But I was, for me, it was like, there's no time to even think of any excuse, because I've wasted so much time already and I needed to run. So whatever excuse you are having, I just want to encourage you that purpose, that vision that God has placed in your heart, step out in faith. God is faithful. I saw the faithfulness of God. I saw the faithfulness of God in the life of this young lady. I saw the faithfulness of God in the life of a man that was running a prison ministry. And he came out and he said, this is the wonderful thing that God is doing in the prisons. Your lives are getting changed. Even the prison officers were like, oh, we need what you have to offer. He was taking Pastor Sunday's book to them in prison. And he came and he was like, they still need more books to go back to the prison to minister to these people. Guess what happened? Right in the church service, while he was testifying of what he was doing, you won't believe what happened. Almost the whole church started giving money for books. In fact, we bought books. The whole platform was just filled with books. He was shocked. He didn't expect that to happen, but that is the faithfulness of God. That is the faithfulness of God. What he needed was provided right there and then. Some people gave cash, some people bought books, and everything was there. So how is that vision not going to continue? Of course, he was really blown away, but for me, it was like, wow, God is faithful. In the pursuit of your purpose, in the pursuit of your calling, God is faithful. He says, he that gives the vision will also give a provision. If God has given you that vision, he will provide for you all you need. So I want to encourage you. It doesn't matter what you think that is. Don't hold back. Don't hold back on fulfilling your purpose. Step out in faith. He is a faithful God. He is a faithful God. He says he's a rewarder. He's not a wicked. He's not a wicked God. If he has given you that vision, he will provide. Step out in faith and see the faithfulness of God. At the time the need arises, the provision will be available. And when the need arises, the provision will surely be available. I saw it even in the life of the guy that was running the drug rehabilitation center. He sold his house. And he was given a diagnosis of cancer. So it was like he was, waiting, terminal cancer. But him and his wife, they decided to sell the house to build a rehabilitation center. And you know what? This God that is always faithful, he did that. Build this center, in the aspect of time to make sure that he created the environment for these people to be rehabilitated. And God showed up in his life. This guy that was given a death sentence with cancer, that cancer cleared. He was healed. He was talking to us. He was 49, turning 50, and he was looking so good. He said that right now, God has healed him of cancer. He's not on the death row anymore. That is the faithfulness of God. That is the faith. God is faithful in the pursuit of purpose. Whatever, it is, don't be afraid to step out. I saw it in many other testimonies, and that was a very encouraging truth for me to also keep up with what God has committed into my hand, that God is faithful and is able to finish that which he has started. Another truth I would like to talk about, briefly, just one time, is that a life of purpose is a life of faith and sacrifice. Be ready to pay the price. A life of purpose is a life of faith and sacrifice. Be ready to pay the price. These people, they stepped out in their purpose, not sure of what they will see. They were not sure of what may come their way, but they were committed and they were ready to pay the price. When I met the guy that said him and his wife, they decided to sell their house. Ordinarily, they would sell the house so that they'll be able to buy another house. But no, they sold the house. They started renting. And instead of buying another house, so they said they were renting. And they went to build a rehabilitation center just to help other people. That is sacrifice. I was like, wow. How many of us can do that? That the money you are supposed to make yourself comfortable to buy a house for yourself, you take it and, give it back to the kingdom. That was a huge sacrifice. So the life of purpose is a life of faith. Faith in the fact that you can trust God to provide all you need, and sacrifice, knowing that you are, just as he sacrifices all for us, that you are also willing to sacrifice your all. It is not going to be easy, but it's a life of sacrifice, and you must be ready to pay the price. You cannot walk in purpose and not make sacrifice. Pastor Sunday is another man of sacrifice that I know. I don't know how I don't know, but he's just I was telling him that I hope I'll be able to follow his example, because he sacrifices a lot. To see a man also that is ready to give himself, he gives of himself freely to everybody. I don't know how he's able to cope with that, but he is that free. Pastor Sunday pays attention to every person. It doesn't matter who you are or where you think you're coming from, but he is a man of sacrifice, and he has invested himself so much, and he's still investing himself so much just to see people grow, just to see people attain their full potential in God. He lives a life of sacrifice. He's just ready to listen. He's always ready to help. He's filled with so much wisdom. He gives his all. He gives his all. And looking at the people in the church, that is the kind of spirit that I saw in all of them. They make a lot of sacrifices. I saw the men at the fatherhood centers also trying to raise men to make them responsible men. And these men were they said some of them that were stronger will go to work, and they will come back and they will help the ones that are weak, the new ones that are just coming. They are feeding them. They are paying for their feeding, taking care of them. That is sacrifice. So in our pursuit of purpose, we must be ready to pay the price. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be convenient, but it's all part of the sacrifice that you have to pay to fulfill purpose. Sometimes you might not feel like you're up to it. Sometimes you might feel sick, but it's all part of the sacrifice. Like if you're following Pastor Sunday online during the live broadcast, you can see the commitment and the sacrifice he has to pay. Even when he's tired, even when he's like, he shouldn't be there, but yet he still comes out to do what he has to do. So the life of purpose is a life of sacrifice, it's a life of faith. And if you are not ready to pay the price, then you are not going to walk in the path of purpose or fulfilling purpose. Because fulfilling your purpose will require that you pay the price. You require that you pay the sacrifice. Jesus Christ, today is Good Friday, and today we remember the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. He was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquity. He said the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we were healed. He went to that cross for you and me. He paid the ultimate sacrifice. And I don't think there's any sacrifice that we'll ever make that will be as great as the one that Jesus has paid for us. He didn't have to do that, but he did that for you and me. What kind of sacrifice have we made? There's no sacrifice that we'll make that will be as near as giving your life. Of course, I'm saying that, I'm also thinking of a lot of Christians that are going through persecution in different parts of the world. But where we are, I know that we have not come to that. So there's no amount of sacrifice that we can pay, that we can, pay in pursuit of our purpose that will be as great as the one that Christ did for us. I don't want to keep this broadcast long. There are more lessons I have to share, so I'll probably do this again next week, Friday, at the same time, to share other lessons I learned from Pastor Sunday Adelaja from the HMT experience that I have in Ukraine. Even as we remember Jesus and Good Friday, I also remember Pastor Sunday. When I met Pastor Sunday, I told him before now, it's difficult to actually judge somebody when you are watching them, Facebook Live, but meeting him one-on-one. When you say somebody carries the nature of Christ, when you see somebody he actually carries the image of Christ, it's quite shocking, because that is what I saw. I told him, I said, with you, I saw the heart of the Father. Pastor Sunday is a replica of Christ on earth. I've not met anybody, like him. He's just a replica of Christ. You can touch him, you can feel him, you can, he's just a man that will just lay himself bare for everyone. I've not met somebody like him. And I really, do admire him a lot, and I appreciate him a lot, because you will not understand the extent of his. Will you go again for her? Not too soon, but hopefully yes. One thing I noticed about going to Pastor Sunday's house is that you can't go there once and you will think that you will never go back. I understand why a lot of people go back. That environment is such a surreal environment. Yeah, HMT, if I have an opportunity, I'll go for HMT again. I would like to go for HMT, and I will encourage everyone to go for HMT. But don't understand that our only HMT was a lazy one. I guess Pastor Sunday was in jubilee mode and he wasn't giving us too much work, but it was, I still felt it. It was still intense, you know, even though it was not as hard as we're told that it usually is. But it was still a tough one, because from the anniversary we're going to church in the morning, coming back late at night, and we went all the way like that to HMT. And during HMT we were having assignment and not being able to sleep because you needed to submit your assignment and all that. Yeah, it was still intense, but I heard it could have been worse. So yes, if I have opportunity, I would like to go for HMT. And yes, like I was saying, you don't go to Ukraine and just think that you will never go again. I understand why a lot of people go back. The environment there is just such a loving environment, and it's like being home. It's like being in being in your grandfather's house, where you just feel so welcomed. You feel so much at home. It's just an environment that always pulls you. You always want to go back, because you don't feel like a stranger when you are there. You just feel like you're home. So yes, really, I really like to go back if I have the opportunity, and probably with my whole family. I would like to end the broadcast here. I don't want to keep you too long. So thank you for spending this time with me. I have more lessons from HMT that I want to share. I've not been able to go through all of them, but I'll come back again next week Friday at 9 p.m. to continue, on my lessons from HMT. So thank you everyone for joining me, and I'll see you again next week Friday. Thank you, Sister Deborah Ko. Thank you, Iyanu. Thank you, honey. That's my husband is joining. Thank you, Sister Diola. Yeah, you will have to tell your story. Sister Diola was at HMT too. Yeah, God is always faithful. Thank you, Iyanu. It's never too late. It's never too late to start to pursue your purpose. Being there was. Thank you, MJ, for joining, and thank you, Olukayode. Thank you, everyone, for spending this time with me, sharing my experience at HMT. So I'll see you next week. Thank you. Shidima, you can't wait to attend HMT. Yes, please do try and put your ears down for the next one so that you can be there. Thank you all, and happy Easter again. Enjoy the weekend. Christ is risen. The resurrection power is still very much alive. It's working, and the earth is still shaking. Every day I feel the resurrection, and I always declare that because He's alive, nothing around me dies. Everything is alive. Thank you all. Have a lovely evening, and God bless you. I love you all. Bye. Thank you. Bye.